Greetings from Jerusalem, Israel. It took a 10.5 hour leap on a Boeing 777, but my wife and I arrived here last Friday. Our group spent 4 days in Galilee at different sites. This is our third of 5 nights in the ancient city that is holy to the three Abrahamic religions. The name Jerusalem means possession or foundation of peace. Peace seems elusive these days, whether here or back home in Indiana, but one can still hope. As you leap into the afternoon session of today's LDI, let's focus on something great that can make life better for us and for those around us. The Adventist health system uses the acronym CREATION to describe 8 essentials of optimum health. The O stands for outlook. This is about the power of our attitudes to influence our health. Everyone enjoys having a positive attitude, but in these times, when we find ourselves feeling the pull of negative thoughts, or helpless to change a problem or situation, or wishing we were wired more positively, we still have something going for us. We have the power of choice. Someone has said discouragement is the devil's anesthesia when he wants to take out our hearts. The Jewish educator and theologian Viktor Frankl survived 2 years in a Nazi prison camp. It was there that he discovered an amazing boost to his spiritual immune system. In his words, "I have very little liberty from a physical standpoint, but I have all the freedom in the world to frame the experiences that come into my life. I remember the men who walk through the huts comforting others, giving away their last piece of bread. They were few in number, but they offer proof that everything that can be taken from a person but one thing, the primary human freedom, to choose one's attitude in any given circumstance, to choose one's own way." Researcher Martin Seligman discovered how animals, like dogs, could be taught to become helpless in various situations, like these poor pups. He calls it learned helplessness. Then he discovered that through learned optimism, dogs as well as their human masters can begin believing that they have a crucial part in altering their lives and circumstances for good. Here's a hungry bear waiting at the top of a waterfall, mouth gaping, ready to nab some lunch. The salmon has worked hard for miles upstream. One more jump and he'll reach the spawning grounds. We might find ourselves identifying with that salmon. Yeah, that's the way life is. You overcome one obstacle after another, but just when the goal is in sight, snap. Dr. David Bible, author of the work 52 Ways to Feel Great Today, says, "How about being the bear?" Our outlook is not dependent on what others do. We control it. What we choose to see improves or distorts our perspective. We can opt to see the good, the beautiful, and to appreciate what surrounds us. We can keep negative things like bitterness from renting space in our heads. For instance, when you forgive someone, you're not admitting that they were right. You're just letting go of being their judge and jury and giving that job to God. The oldest part of Jerusalem is called the City of David. But long before there was a city, there was a garden. This is a picture of the oasis of En Gedi on the western shore of the Dead Sea. According to the Hebrew creation story, the first word that God gave us was threefold. Play with all your heart, live all your life, and love with all your being. Now this outlook expects good things. Is it possible to own and enter this viewpoint? Viktor Frankl would say yes, but not everyone does. You could say each of our lives is a novel intended for a happy ending. It's you and I who add the suspense. As the story of Genesis continued, Adam and Eve hear these words, "All this is yours to enjoy. There's only one tree, one kind of fruit that's not good for you." Well, bears, they see the bounty, but the salmon focus on the one thing that's bad. You may know that this ancient garden story ends with a bad choice. And sometimes life can seem like a series of bad choices, with many of them beyond our control. What could have been more discouraging than to create something as wonderful as human beings, and then see them succumb to doubt and turn away? But what happened next? Well, the Creator, according to the story, got straight to work, making things right again. And knowing how fallible human beings continue to be, God must really be an optimist. God chose to be the bear. An ancient scripture says, "Pray for the peace of Jerusalem." So here are 3 practical ways to get your outlook in a healthy place. First of all, be careful with the language that you use toward yourself. You will likely live into what you hear yourself saying. Secondly, when destructive thoughts or images intrude into your world, shift your attention by remembering happy moments. Whatever is true, honorable, pure, or lovely, excellent and praiseworthy holds great power to put you in a better perspective and an elevated mood. And finally, don't let negativity take over your schedule. Make an appointment to mull over it later when you are rested, calmed, and clear-headed. Well, it's been great to spend this time with you. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your life. I look forward to seeing you all again real soon.